Oh, so much better.
So Darce.
Oh my gosh.
Darce.
Oh, so cute.
My dog.
Hey, yours?
My homie, yeah, my little boy. Good boy, Darce.
You good?
My other dog is Knuckles. You know what I named him after, right?
What's your name?
Knuckles
Darce.
and Darce.
So Tony, does it get harder or easier to get ready to fight Khabib since you've tried 3 times before?
I think that they have the issue. I think that they changed a lot of things in their camp. They had to hire a bunch of people, tap my phone, do whatever they had to do in order to get this thing through. But I believe black and blue. And through, I'm going to go out there and make that dude see red. The dude's never been cut in his whole entire life. He's got a 25-0 padded record. He's got flat feet, no rhythm, and he's fat head. Thus, fat head.
Well, last time when you guys were there and you said good luck with the weight cut and the chimisu stuff, like how in tune were you to thinking that he wasn't going to make weight? You know what I mean? Was that just kind of a joke, or did you really fear that that wasn't going to happen?
Not a fear. It was more than anything. I was just calling him out.
Yeah.
If you've wrestled for as long as I have, you can see somebody that's had a bad weight cut.
Yeah.
I mean, big muscle sinks fast. You know what I mean? Bring a snorkel. I mean, straight up. I mean, we think about it. I mean, like with him doing CrossFit and his single planaire motion and doing that, it's one-dimensional. With myself, I stay lean and mean. I've always done that. Keep your body weight count down. Stay flexible. Keep your conditioning up to date. Do calisthenics. When your opponent expands, you contract. When he contracts, you expand. Khabib forgets that I'm a wrestler. He forgets I play football. He forgets that I play baseball and a lot of different sports and a lot of mechanics. So with this dude, he's having his hand held to all these different types of events, and he has to have a nutritionist. If you're at 25 fights in 0 and you need somebody to correct you on the way that you cut weight, you're doing this shit wrong. Like straight up. So if he needed more time to prepare for a guy like me, and then his coach is actually taking active rest, like how I dubbed it. So it's a little bit different. Like you had Edson Barbosa doing Darce chokes in his last fight. I beat an amazing Edson Barbosa, probably one of the best ones that you guys have ever seen. I mean, that was a great fight. Khabib fought a broken down Edson Barbosa. The fans got to him. Whoever got to him, they beat him mentally. Now that's the one thing that Khabib can't get to me by. Even his fans, I don't even give a shit. I mean, really, like, I have a hard time posting pictures of my family. Do you ever worry about your family being posted up there?
Yeah, I don't always do.
Yeah, you don't, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, you careful what you post, right? But anytime I post them, I had to stop and take a look at it. I'm like, you know what? This is America. They ain't gonna do shit. Right? So, straight up, I have to kind of, like, have that confidence. And when I bring that confidence in there, I'm Mexican and I'm American. They want to call me cringe, but cringe is to grasp, to clinch. I am a wrestler. I do. I mean, what's that song? Lunatic Cringe? Oh, wait. Lunatic Fringe.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So in essence, it's like I'm very witty and I'm very quick with it. And with him, he doesn't know how to snap into it like I do. So he's got the problems. His team is trying to demonstrate different things. They had to bring in boxers. They had to bring... Yeah, that's great. This is not the art of 8 limbs. This is the art of 10 limbs.
But you know, with the wrestling, a lot of people will say, hey, Kevin Lee took you down. And
I had to get my black belt
and
somehow.
Khabib is better than
Straight up.
Kevin. So they're going to say, how can you defend Khabib when Kevin was able to take you
It's
down?
USA Wrestling. I mean, we're from the same alma mater. So I already knew he was going to be highly aggressive and he was going to want to take me down. I wanted my black belt. What better way than get that time?
Well, plus you don't necessarily fear being on the ground, right? You feel good there.
If I want to be.
Yeah.
You ever seen a turtle on his back? I'm Casey Jones. No further questions. Let's go. Get out of here, man.
Do you personally dislike Khabib? Is this more than just a athletic contest at this point?
I think a lot of people bring that in, and I think that's when you have to shed the layers of the onion and kind of be like, look between the special effects and the bullshit and realize who's real and who's not real. And when you can tell already, like you guys play poker, right? You guys World Series of Poker and all that. I never play poker. I don't like cards. But what you could do is judge a good character by their personality. Khabib's not such a bad guy, but he surrounds himself around people probably stuffing his head full of bullshit and this and that. I used to have that. I used to be a knucklehead. But when I shed all that light and I quit doing this for likes and retweets is when I saw my numbers skyrocket. There's no bots on my shit. That's real people, man. With real work, like hard-working jobs, doing their thing, living day-to-day life with their 9 to 5. So when I train like I'm doing my 9 to 5, and John Jones is like, oh yeah, it was an easy day for you. I had a calm day. No, dude, a calm day for me is what? Doing 3 sessions, a conference call, and an ice bath. Working out while I'm doing my conference call. You guys heard it. That dude didn't have one chance to talk. The same way he ain't gonna have one chance to do whatever the frick he wants to do inside that octagon. You wanna close that distance? Go ahead. I don't have to punch you. You guys got to forget, man. I throw people, and when people disrespect me, I used to throw them in their coaches. That's hard. Like Josh Thompson, he disrespected me. He stepped over my fern. I laid it down. He wanted to disrespect me. He got cut. Kevin Lee was from my alma mater. I didn't want to hurt him. Brandon Venata, he's a kid. He needs to go on and grow from this. So I don't want to hurt the kid. You heard Khabib say the same thing to Michael Johnson, but he beat a broken down Michael Johnson. He beat a broken down Edson Barboza. Edson Barboza, I took that from him. He was doing my move in his practice in his embedded. When you see something like that, that means it's hey, what's flattery, man? That's what, copycat's the best form of flattery. So when their coach Javier Mendez is saying active rest Sundays and doing this, they're trying to take a page out of the book. That's perfect, baby. Because you know what? I got you. Hook, line, and sinker.
You're going through the pressers and you're having a back and forth with the league. How much? It seems like you're having fun. Like, are you having fun in this back and forth? Back and forth with Khabib and the engagements and everything like that?
I enjoy it. I mean, do you guys enjoy it? It's real for me. I have fun. I mean, he said, take off your glasses. I'm like, I'm very witty. I'm very quick. I'm very educated. I didn't get my degree. A lot of people say, you know, you made it, Tony. You're doing your thing. I'm like, nah, man. I know when I made it when I get my degree. That's making it. Straight up.
You know, you said, you actually used the word cringe a minute ago, right? And it's kind of funny. I think it's cool that you embrace it. I have to say, I have referred to you sometimes, Tony, as a little bit crazy, and I apologize if you take offense to that, but I mean it actually sort of as a good thing, right?
I would have to say that people that don't understand the genius in certain things, in the originality, they might look at it differently, and I have embraced it. People can say what they want. I've been called wet beaner, wetback, big ears, cringe, I'm losing my... Yeah, I get it, dude, but if it makes you feel better at night, look at yourself in the mirror.
But
and
do
really,
you think you're a little bit different than other fighters?
I do it on purpose because it gets to people, and I know that. So the fact is I'm not going to stop changing it. If I see it gets to somebody, I'm going to keep doing it. Why do I want to be something that I want to be a cookie cutter, poster boy, bubblegum chewing fighter? Absolutely not. I don't follow nobody. If people want to follow me, that's because they see talent. They believe in it. I didn't get into this bullshit because of this. I got into it because not even because of this is a fucking paperweight. Straight up. Every person can get one of these belts, but not every single person can win the Ultimate Fighter and get a trophy. Take that to your grave.
Yesterday when the call was happening, it seemed like you were getting very emotional, very agitated. I mean, is there a fear that might get the better of you, or was it just a moment? Because it seemed by the end of the call
I was
that you
working
cooled down a
out.
little bit.
No, I was working out. I was actually dragging a tire.
Really?
So
We were
when
wondering
you,
what you
yeah, if you guys, yeah, I was actually dragging a tire. I was working out, and I had my gente. I was out in the back, and they were asking for pictures. I was doing it. I had to excuse myself because I was running. They were like, "Can you dame una foto tuya?" Yeah, sí. Digo, bien, pero necesita correr conmigo. Yeah, I was sitting here, and I had Verdum say, "You don't know Spanish." Now, if I was an asshole, I would have stooped to that dude's level. I don't know what I did it, but he crossed that line, and I stood up. Trust me, like I told him and I told Brock, you're the same size on the ground. When I first tried out for this, and I was an amateur, and I was an amateur, I had one fight at being an amateur. They tested me with a 260, 270 pound guy. He had tattoos all over the place, and we had small gloves on. And I said, "You sure you want to go small gloves? You're kind of a big guy." And they were like, "Nah, man, this is what you're gonna deal with." All right, cool, let's go. So instead of going all crazy and everything and letting that get to my head, what I did was I ankle picked him. I put him on his ass. I went knee on belly. I put my hand on his throat, and I had my hand like this, like a Wolverine claw. Same way I said to Verdum. And I respect Verdum, but don't walk over my shit. When you had your opportunity and when everybody has their opportunity, I'm a gentleman. Now, you guys that know me, I'm very passionate. And people might mix that up with certain things, and that's why I tell them they have to look in the mirror and kind of figure out where they come from. Because in ultimate reality, it's like, this is a fight. Yeah, it is. But for me, it's a competition. Everybody wants to see that bloodshed and all these other things, but I can beat somebody with or without that. You've seen it. So if somebody wants to cross the line on that border, you're not a mat. You're just standing up for yourself. And in that case, in that matter, it doesn't matter, dude. You can say anything that you want. You can judge a book by its cover. I could wear this monkey suit, and you guys see me hit the speed bag even better when I did it. Now, a lot of people, they didn't realize that I hit the speed bag better than Canelo, but I do. I've been hitting this thing for over 20 years. I mean, ultimate reality is like, there's better people that hit it better than me. There's an old dude that's out there, man, spinning, doing elbow tricks. I'm like, wow. When you realize that you're not perfect in this industry and that you always have room to grow, and you shed away all the stuff like an onion, and you're able to encompass what's really important and surround yourself around good-hearted people and like really see what the special effects are and kind of like get out of here and let nothing get to you. You know how empowering that is?
When you talk about importance,
really empowering.
When you talk about importance, how important is that belt to you? How important was that in terms of a goal that you set out to be? Was it something that you had to have? Does it validate anything for you?
I think more for my fans. The belt is a paperweight to me, but it's a nice shiny paperweight, and it's great. I don't take it out and I don't wear it everywhere. The only reason I don't is because I'm gonna lose focus of what's important to me. And I decided that. Nobody told me that. I decided because I had good people tell me, and if they couldn't get me to that next level, they had to trust the next person to get me to that next level. I speak with with a lot of passion, like I say, and people might misunderstand that for being crazy and all these other things. I get it. It's too far past your head. You don't think that way because you're on this shit. I say unplug, go outside. I got a tan. Usually when I don't get a tan, that's I'm inside all the time. And that's the beauty of it. Like when I take off my glasses and I got raccoon eyes and stuff like that, I embrace it. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. Tan lines, look, babe, look at my eyes. Ah, it's awesome. You know what I mean? And so like it's one of those things where I like to have fun. I enjoy the moment. And the moment right now is, look, yeah, I'm defending my belt. This isn't for a title fight. I had the fight. I mean, really, with Conor, I like to use the analogy. Somebody asked me a Conor question so I can answer this
Yeah, I
one.
was going to ask you. So, how do you feel about, the language that they're parsing the words very much, saying that the winner of your fight with Khabib is the lightweight champion. But how important is it for you to have a fight with Conor to unify that belt if you get past Khabib?
When and if Conor comes back. I think we get the words mixed up. Conor used the game genie, right, to get to where he's at. Now, if you play video games all the time and you're a real gamer, you're not going to use that game genie. You're not going to use the code. You're going to go in there and get your ass kicked, and then you're going to play it again. Now, Nintendo, there was always like that. Now, the kids today, they don't have that. So I'm old school. I'm an 8-bit warrior. Mike Tyson's Punch Out, baby. You gotta embrace that, and that's where it's like when you hold on to some of those things in that tradition, that's when you get to pass it back down to somebody. Now with Conor, he has it. I mean, I get it. Everybody has their story. But when I say McNuggets, I mean the ultimate thing is because have you ever seen McNuggets made? Yeah, it's terrible. Do your homework, YouTube that shit. Right here, you know what I mean? But besides that, I gave him that perfect volley. They're like barter between McDonald's and Burger King. Awesome. So. But what I'm trying to say is, look, I wouldn't have got here unless somebody paid it forward for me. What they did was they gave me a card that said 7 days, right? And what I did was I took that 7 days and I went and I used it. I went to the gym and I went to the jiu-jitsu part, and I didn't like it because the coach was a dasshole, straight up. He threw everybody at me. First dude was 225 pounds. Why does everybody want to test me? Threw him on his ass, took him down over and over. Big muscle requires a lot of oxygen. Same as Khabib. Big muscle sinks. I'm lean and mean all day. I didn't like the jiu-jitsu part. I didn't want it. It wasn't my part yet. I didn't understand I wanted my black belt yet. I was like, this is what it is. I really don't want to do it. But I gave it another chance. I went into the boxing part, and there was this bin. It was a blue bin. I remember. It was one of those little totes things for kids and the toys and stuff. Toys for tots. Hey, donate. What I'm trying to say is there was a pair of blue gloves and there was a pair of red ones. They were all mixed matched in the ounces. So what I did was I found the pair that mixed and matched. It was a red and blue pair, and it was awesome. 16-ounce pair of gloves. I didn't have any hand wraps. I didn't know how to wrap my hands. I put them. I was like, hey, can I use these? Yeah. All right, cool. I put them on, and I started hitting the bag. And I started hitting the bag harder, and everything started making sense. I was like, boom. Oh yeah, this is cool. This is fun. And I saw the speed bag. Oh, dope, man. I like this side better because I've been a grappler my whole entire life, but I like doing new things. So that's why I always say, it's you can try to master something, but there's always going to be something else out there. When I started becoming too harsh and allowing the abrasiveness, I forgot that I started like that. I forget that somebody actually gave me a real pair of gloves. A Mexican dude named Fuyo. Dude, gold chains, and he was an old school boxer. Robert Garcia from the boxing gym where we were at 805. It's in the blood. I'm from 805. I'm a straight out fighter, Mexican. People, Ferguson. Yeah, I get it. It's because I do step in the picture and give me a chance. I embrace it. So that's where when I took those gloves, he gave me I don't know if they were brand new or not, but they smelled like victory. And it was a pair of 16-ounce leather gloves with the strings, and he tied them up for me, and he said, you gotta take care of your hands, mijo. And I was like, wow. And I could feel the hair on the back of my neck and everything just go like I was Dragon Ball Z. sitting there waiting to give a Kamehameha.
So you said you're an 8-bit warrior though in old school. So are you implying then that Conor is using cheat codes and Conor's getting where he is?
I said he used the game genie.
Okay, you game. I'm sorry, I'm not a gamer. Sorry.
No, it's cool. So like out the people in the world, who knows what game genie is? Raise your hand. Everybody? Raise your hand, man. Why are you being afraid to raise your hand? That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Everybody's so like kind of like, that's what I'm talking about. Everybody's so like kind of like so uptight, trying to worry about what everybody else thinks. Stop. Unplug, fucking go outside, do something with your life, man. Get off of this shit and go do something old school. When I use the implementation when I use the words that I say that Conor used the game genie, I say that he talked his way into it, which I'm not bashing. But I'm saying that he used a method that not a lot of people get to use. Because in this fight game, we get in there not to do this. Some people are blessed with that. I'm blessed with being able to do my thing and speak the way I speak. If they think it's cringy or not, then this is real. You guys want a good interview? Hey, you feeling it? And in reality, like seriously, is I've earned my way here. I don't want anybody else carrying that torch because that torch is heavy. And I got big wings on my shoulder. Khabib calls himself an eagle, but he ain't got no wings. You know what I'm saying? And I got the arm strength to go with it.
Yesterday, when I think it was just at that point trying to pick and get under your skin, what were you thinking when he was like, "That's a fake belt you got. That ain't a real belt"? It's
heavy. The fake one's in the van. I mean, you ever felt like the real and the fake one? I mean, straight up. Look at, pass it along. Go ahead. It's heavy. Check it out. You guys film that. Check it out. I mean, reality, check it out. Nobody gets to see the people behind the cameras. They don't. Look at.
Hey, everybody.
Look at. And the cool thing is there's a lot more that goes into this, and there's a lot more that goes into the whole aura of the fight game. There's the practice, there's the separation from family, and there's the blood, the sweat, and the tears. And a lot of people don't get to see that. Now with Khabib, and you see us demonstrate that we don't like to hurt people inside, to give up. Just go home, go do your thing. That's a real fighter. That's real fighters. Nate Diaz is a real fighter too. Conor, he's a real fighter too. Everybody has their ways to do their things. But just because one person says that's the way you gotta be, cookie cutter, that's not how I am. So I was gonna actually wear a cargo. Hold on, let me stand up so you guys can see this stuff. Does it look good, guys? That's cool. This is a monkey suit and I got the ears to go with it. You like it?
Has anything in your life changed since getting that belt?
I've become more humble. Instead of carrying it around and really tarnishing it, I kept it up where my picture's at, where my black belt, where Coach Eddie Bravo was at. And I liked it for a long time. And I had it at a spot, and I took it down from there. I put it in this case. Why did I do that? Why do you guys think? Stay hungry. Stay driven. When you lose that track, when you start worrying about the shiny gold and all this other, you guys ever noticed that I used to have silver glasses, right? Metaphor, second place. I will always be second. Always be second. Now when people realize that, if they reach that first top tier and you think that's it, you will never get to that spot. And you will never be number one. And that's what keeps me going because I get it. I will never be number one. And that's in my head. When you adopt that into your head, how hungry do you get? And do you think, look at when people want to go up a mountain, I bring people to these places and I have to encourage them to get to certain spots. When there's a spot where it's a hill, can I go around it or do I go up it? What do you guys think? Go up it. Why? Because I know it's going to make me stronger. My first task that I do every single day is make my bed. Straight up. Where does that sound familiar?
I do it too. You're supposed to. That's what you're supposed to do.
Right?
But so here's the thing then. You want to stay hungry, obviously, but so do you think of it as you're going in to win the belt again, or are you defending what's yours though?
I like to say I'm defending it. I mean, really, I have one. He doesn't.
Right.
So thus, I'm defending my belt.
Right. But you know what I mean? Some people, if you say it doesn't matter to you that much, then
it doesn't.
But it does put a target on you.
Not really. If they want to, I would say go for it. See what happens. Think about it.
To date, what's been the most satisfying win for you?
Barbosa.
How come?
He's a tough fighter. Straight out tough fighter. Probably one of the hardest battles I had to prepare for. Ups and downs. I mean, I can't say that there's one better than the other. RDA was a great fight. A lot of the fights and the competitions that I've had, you battle adversity. Without adversity, there is no progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you watch your fights after a lot? Like, do you?
I sit down and watch with
Yeah.
my wife. Yeah, we go over it. But when we do the DVR, somehow that gets deleted. I don't know. But,
They get you covered.
you know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Is like, if that's where I don't watch all my victories. I learn to watch my losses. And I think that's something that a lot of people don't get to do. It's like they don't learn how to watch their losses and learn how to bounce back. Khabib's never had a loss. The only loss that he had, he lost in Sambo. I'm not even sure if he went back after that loss. Like straight up. The guy had to hold him up, pick him up off the ground because he was crying so hard. And that's passion. That takes an athlete. Khabib's an athlete. I got respect for Khabib. You guys see that think it's animosity. No, that's me being passionate. And that's me dragging a tire, doing my thing, my way, doing my interviews my way. Like I said, if that's not what people want to see or hear, stop following me. I'm not asking y'all to fucking follow me. If you're following me just to give me hate, hey, I'm going to give you the finger. But I'm not. I'll say I pray for you.
You are passionate. Some people think sometimes, and I guess maybe based on the call yesterday, that maybe you are bringing too much emotion into it, right? I mean, Khabib is very stoic, obviously. Do you think emotion, it helps you or hinders you ever?
I think that you or other people might be reading into it wrong. I think it's a strategy. I think that with everybody that Khabib has around him is telling him to be calm, but you guys obviously heard his tone change very well. And that's snap jitsu, that's snapping into it with the INTUIT. I'm the tax man, I'm about to tax his ass.
One thing you mentioned before, you said that, you talk about your personal background. You grew up playing football, you grew up playing baseball. Today's opening day. Like, you ever thought about if you had a chance to get up on a diamond, like how you look right now, like maybe what team you represent and everything?
Dodgers, baby, let's go. Mechanics all day. Look, man, I'm a baseball fan straight up. And like I know today's opening day. They offered me to throw the first pitch at the Angel Stadium, right? But I had to tell them I'm a Dodgers fan.
So this was your opportunity right here to ask. Sell it to get the Dodgers first pitch.
Not even just that. Look at you guys. You guys see professionals always cross over and they always do the thing. I am an athlete. I have the frame to make 225 pounds. You've seen Anthony Johnson make it 170 pounds. That's respect. And how big is he now? Trust me, I can eat a lot of avocados, man. You know what I mean? And I can lift a heck of a lot. But I stay lean and mean for this sport. And what I do is I make sure that whatever I'm playing, I give it 150%. Because if not, why are you doing it? I mean, baseball would be awesome. Football would be great. Shoot, make that loot, right? Put it away. But I think education is more important to me.
Did you play second base? What did you say you played?
Shortstop, center field, pitcher, first base, utility man. Wrestling, baseball. I think football because I got to hit people. I broke my arm running the ball my first time because I ran away from danger. And instead, decided afterwards I had to sit out. I was like, that's not right. I got to run towards danger.
So,
you mentioned like you had the ability to go up in weight. Is there any future about maybe going up in weight class and challenging?
Absolutely not. In college, I actually shot a low single and I tore my dude's ACL. And it was part of our team. I had to wrestle my own teammate. And I think I actually wrestled John Jones. I had a nice conversation with him because I had to bump up 2 weight classes because none of our national champs wanted to bump up. They didn't want to risk losing that next national champ. One of my goals my coach had to stand up and he said, look, you're going to write 3 goals. You're going to write one that you can reach right now. You're going to write one that you can reach in the near future. And you're going to write one that you can damn near impossibly reach. My first one was be a 4-time national champ because I couldn't make the 4-time state champ. That sucked. I had to accept that. And I'd lost my chance to do that. So I was like, okay, I could have just hung my head and cried, but I didn't. I went to the next level and I was like, check this out, I got to try it. I won that nationals that first year. And I went back the next year. That incident happened before even districts and regionals and all that good stuff. Nobody wanted to bump up, but I felt that it was my responsibility, since I hurt that dude, to bump up. I bumped up 2 weight classes. Not 1, but 2. I was 174, wrestling 184, and these guys were cutting from 210. So you tell me if I'm afraid of a 250-pound guy. I was a captain of the national championship team. I was everybody from 103 pounds to 265. And I handled it. And I out-conditioned and I out-wrestled them because I had coaches that cared. The other day I had to cut a coach out because he slapped me in the face. I won't say names. I'm sure he'll watch this interview. But I had to cut him out because I was like, slap the other side. know what I mean? When you have people like that want to do that and have that kind of a coaching mentality, I don't think so. Not on my plate. Not on my time. Because I've been coached before, and I've had the greatest coaches, and they couldn't get me to that next spot. They had to trust the next guy. And instead of just shoving it out, they hand shook and get after it, Tony. Get after it, Anthony. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're Mexican. Yeah, you're battling diversity. You're battling all this stuff. Yeah, man, it's cool. Call me cringe. Call me crazy. It's because you don't understand me, and I get it. It's cool. You wouldn't want to hit a guy with glasses, right?
You know, obviously your division is very good. Some say the best. But you never looked for your shortcuts. You fought everybody you needed to fight on the way up. But if you do get past Khabib, and let's say Conor is whatever, doesn't come back or whatever, who do you see as challengers to Gaethje and Poirier fight in a couple of weeks?
No, it's that dude kicking the banana trees in the jungle.
Yeah.
That hasn't got picked up yet. Like straight up. That's the guy that you're thinking about. When I first signed up, it was GSP. I mean, seriously, at 170 pounds, I had, 12 fights? At 170 pounds, I fought Karen Darabedian as well. I ankle picked him. Gene LaBelle says, I lost my points because Gene LaBelle was on the board, on the judge. You never leave it to the judges. I beat that dude. But you never leave it to the judges, man. And I learned that hard. He showed up 3 pounds overweight, and he's like, I can't really take a pay cut. And I was like, respect, dude, I'm just here to have fun. And that's me before I even got serious into this stuff. So like when Gene LaBelle afterwards comes up to me and he's like, I haven't seen an ankle pick like that in a long time, son. You're gonna go far. And I was like, I didn't know who the guy was, but I was like, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. Wearing all pink. So, you know what I mean? And that's Coach Gene. So, I mean, in ultimate reality, it is what it is.
You know, what do you do for fun, Tony? Because, I mean, you hit the speed bag in dress pants. I mean, you know, I don't know. Are you a gamer? Like, you know, I know you have a baby. And
Check
you got
this
your
out.
dog.
Check this out. I was hitting the bag in speed bag with my dress pants on because I had an interview with ESPN magazine with Brett Okamoto. Have any of you guys ever seen me train?
Yes.
Live.
Yes.
Right. Now, how special is it?
Pretty awesome.
Pretty cool. Now, you have to earn that right in order to come and watch me or invite you to either my camp or anything else. People just show up sometimes and I'll just stop what I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, okay. Because sometimes they don't deserve that. And honestly, it's like that's for likes and retweets. I'm like, no. Put your camera away. Put your shit away. Look, you want to see something cool? Let me show you something cool. So when I took Brett Okamoto, I'll say his name, I showed him some stretches. I showed him how, I was like, dude, let's go through the motions with me. I told you to bring your Nikes. It took 2 years for that guy. 2 years for that guy to come into my gym, my facility, and watch me train. Now, when I invite UFC Embedded, I do the same thing. They had another guy that when I was a big mare, I went up the mountain, and he didn't make it all the way to the top. And I told UFC guys, I was like, hey, you guys want a better shot? I was like, you guys got to make it all the way up. And so they had all the equipment though. They had all their equipment, and that stuff gets heavy when you're carrying it up about a couple thousand feet. Well, I had a 40-pound pack and I had 2 10-pound ankle weights on, and I'm running up this thing, and I'm competing with 2 other people, and I made it all the way up there, and I go down and grab the next one. I go back up, and I go back down, get the next one, and I go back down, get the next one, and I'm up there. I drop my pack and I get my stuff, and I go back down towards this dude, and he's cussing up a storm. God, son of a bitch. I gotta do extra push. I've been trying not to swear. But he's like, and it was awesome to see somebody encouraging themselves to try to push themselves to get to that level. That's inspiring. So when I was like, I did him a favor, I was like, the guys that had their cameras, I was like, I got better footing. Let me hold your camera so you don't fall. I'd hold the camera and I walked up it. I brought it up there. Boom, we got it. And it was teamwork. You had Coach Eddie, you had a lot of my 10 Planet Jiu-Jitsu people up there. You had effort. And teamwork makes the dream work. You can't paddle alone in this industry. You know what I mean? You're going to be facing a lot of currents, man. They won't always be going the same way. And I have that hate coming down there. I'm as good as my last fight. My last fight, I won this belt. But people, what I should have said on the show is don't be a deadbeat dad. So all you dads out there, don't be a deadbeat dad, huh? So when you say, what do you do in your spare time? I teach my kids puzzles. I do all this stuff. I like to hang out with them, let them be a kid. I try to encourage him, don't fight. He picks up a golf club. I'm like, yeah, boy.
That's the way to go.
You know what I'm saying? So having fun and embracing the moment and then encouraging others. I can't make it to like the hospitals and do all these things because I'm in the gym. When I start doing this when I retire, I'll be doing that stuff when I retire. That's why I can take all of my belts and my accolades all at once and be like, check it out.
At the end of the day, how important is getting a Conor fight eventually to you?
Conor who? I mean, the guy's not in the picture. I mean, straight up. I mean, bless his heart. He's made his money. He's doing his thing. He's got an education for his kid. That's what we all want. right? I would hope. Shake your heads, yes or no. Like, yeah, yes. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do the camera again. But that's what I'm saying. So what it is paying it forward. And with Conor, he's influenced a lot of fighters, man. Fighters that I look up to. Roy Jones Jr. Liking and commenting on his stuff. That's cool, man. That's dope. But it's taken a lot of work to get there. Not just this. It's taking work. You had to earn it. So like I said, the game genie part, yeah, that might be the way that it is because, yeah, with that much loot, what are you going to do now? You're going to go back to a sport where you have to bleed? No, take care of yourself, man. Really, go do your thing. If you have to hype it up and you want to come back because that's the sport and the athlete in you, the guy that I met at Paradigm Sports, when I shook his hand and I said, you better stay at 145 because at 55, we're going to have problems. He's nowhere to be found. Straight up. So if he wants to come back, that's great. But my concern is not him. It's the next person in line. You heard a lot of good wrestlers say that. I forget one of the dudes said the quote, and I was like, man, that must be a great coach because they must have got that even from Dan Gable or somebody awesome back in the day. You don't look at the next person in the bracket. That goes for any sport you play. You look at the one at hand, and you don't look what color or whatever they're wearing. At the end of the day, we all bleed red. And that's what I see. So when I'm looking through my opponent, I'm not looking past him. That's my quote.
So he is obviously, though, a huge payday for anyone, right? So a lot of people looking for money fights now, a lot going on. So where do you see yourself? Because arguably, like I said before, you fought most of the guys in the division currently. Are you a guy looking for money fights? Are you looking for what excites you? What would give you a challenge? Who would be somebody that you would love as a dream matchup?
GSP.
Yep.
I mean, that's what I signed up for in the beginning. I was 170 pounds. 155 was forced on me. I mean, that a forced move, right? The ultimate reality, then that's not the end result. 170 pounds, where I have 12 fights. A GSP match, I mean, really, he wants a money fight, but he's an athlete. We all have to pay bills. You gotta pay your taxes. Pay your taxes, fuckers. And straight up, pay attention. Because when you're not doing it, you're not paying attention, you're going on just fighting for money fights, you forget. And this thing starts getting luster. It starts losing, it's not luster, it becomes tarnished. It starts losing that. That's why I think a lot of my fans are real and they're hardcore. And I dig it because not only is that just cool for me, it's cool for them to be able to start fighting back towards my other things. And they're nice. They're nice about it most of the time. They're not assholes. And they have fun with it. And it's a lot of them, they get my intellect and they get my wit. And when they do, I'm like, I like it. And I put that funny face. So if those people aren't calling me cringe, that's chill. I don't mind it. Because that's what gives me like the inspiration to keep opening up a little bit here and there, to let a little bit here and there out there. Why? Because man, you guys are mean sometimes, like straight up, harsh. I hear the SB Nation and all these Bleacher Reports and like these writers are out there doing all these things, and I'm like, why you gotta be a dick?
Harsh to you or just harsh in general? Just
harsh in general to people, and I just kind of like, well, with me, I've heard it before, but I have tough skin. I don't really get cut too often. I don't really bruise too easy. Because I've been tattered and torn my whole entire life. I fight with a passion, man, and that's for a reason.
When was El Kukui born? You know what I mean? When did Kukui emerge?
Kukui is just the nickname.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to hold it as an idol, but I call it as an idea. Now,
but it's
when
a
you have
mindset
that,
to beat El Kukui, no?
No, I think that's what everybody wants. But like I said, I'm not a cookie cutter shaped poster boy, bubblegum and chewing kind of fighter. El Kukui is what it is. You know what angry eyebrows is? Like this, I got my chin down. That's it right there. I mean, if I look like the part, I mean, really, that's awesome. That's cool. You want to call me Kukui? That's me to be a reminder that all y'all got to be good.
At the press conference yesterday, I think the one line that everyone kind of remembers from yesterday is you calling Khabib a cocktail platypus.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Where did that come from? I've never heard a fighter call
I think
before.
he's flat-footed, he's built, I don't know. It's whatever it is, it just sounded good, man. And so, like I was saying, so if it was fake and I wasn't having fun with it, and you guys read into it as being angry, sir, it's not. It's having fun with it, and it's being a storyline because that's what UFC is. UFC has the ability to take and encompass what the blood, sweat, and tears, and using that when fans buy the ticket, they're not just getting a ticket, they're getting a whole event. I don't know if you guys out there in the world, I recommend going to a UFC event. This is not me just floating the boat. It's absolutely dope. It's better than a monster truck rally. Like, if you ever been to like one of those things, I mean, I'm a fan. When Khabib didn't show up at UFC 209, did I go hide in my room? No. I dressed up in my part, which I didn't even buy that shit was too tight. And I actually had to sit there and I sucked. But I surround myself around humility because not a lot of people can do that. They don't have the backbone for it. And when I do that, my kid is going to grow up watching that. And he's going to see what kind of a person his dad is and learns how to take a loss, bounce back from it, take a win and move on with it. Regardless in this, that, or whatever it is, it's learning to accept that you're not perfect and to keep moving forward. And to keep really pushing forward and striving for greatness. You might not ever reach that plateau, man, and I hope it never plateaus or that peak. But you have guys like Conor McGregor and Khabib and myself representing not just ourselves, but just people who in general where we come from. I'm Mexican-American, but I can only wear American on my fucking shorts? Come on. I've been trying to get Reebok to do Mexican-American both. They won't.
When you walked out to Cheech and Chong, Mexican-American,
Hey, I watched the movies, and it's funny to make fun of it. But mi gente está mi gente. A todo. And that's what I really believe. So with the last name like Ferguson, growing up in Michigan and being called Bean or Wetback and all these things, you think I let that get towards me? So when I have on social media and I'm doing this thing, yeah, go ahead, do and say whatever. If that makes you sleep better at night. Straight up.
But obviously there's such a great boxing tradition in Mexico. Do you find though that you are opening eyes down there, and do you find that you're sort of bringing more Latino fans into the game?
I don't know. I hope just fans in general, real fans. Like I think that's what it is. When I say unplug, go outside, like seriously, unplug, go outside. Go follow my shit. Like really, like if you feel cool, like and you like my dog, that's awesome. I love my dog. My dog's cool. Darce and Knuckles, named after my two favorite moves. So I mean. And that's cool. And then, like, when I'm able to go out there and hit the speed bag, you ask what I do for fun. I like being active. I love being active. If I'm sitting down playing video games all the time, I haven't touched a video game forever. Straight up. I got over 100 some odd hours logged into one game, though.
You didn't play yourself in the UFC game? Not even for a minute?
I think my wife did. She kicked my ass. Button mashing, man. You guys
That's
play
what wives do,
Tekken. And straight up, Dan, the button mashers in the world. You might not know what they're doing, but at least they're trying.
Tony, did Reebok, did they just flat out say no when you requested that about your socks, or did they give you a reason?
I had to do it in an indirect way on my t-shirt. They wanted me to change my last shirt, and I said no. I liked my shirt, but I was kind of like, I'm an artist. If I don't have a finished product, and I'm kind of not too sure about it, I'm going to keep it to myself. No, man, that's not for y'all. My shirt, I wore it, and nobody realized that. I walked out with it, and not one person was like, that's a cool shirt. Until I did what? I had a big fight, and then like I wore my shirt, and then everybody wants to give me props. I'm glad I stuck up for myself, and I said I didn't want to change my shirt. It had a Mexican luchador mask, right? And it had fucking American is right there, and he had a Mexican flag, an American flag representing Chilmo. But I had him. I told him, like, put him in a werewolf stance, ready to stalk his prey, ready to go out there and do it, because that's how I was taught as a wrestler, and as taught as a mental, just to be able to be focused in on zero in what's important. And a lot of people, like when I look at that chart, be sharp. Is that even a note? No, it's not. Think about it. It's something that's not even there. But I put be sharp and I put the music notes behind it because it's special. Because in order to believe in this, something doesn't have to have a special ingredient, right? There are no special ingredients to this stuff. You don't need it. You go out there, you give it your best, and the reality is, if you win or lose, you walk away from the table knowing that you gave it your fucking all. More push-ups. You tell me.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm about to rip my jacket.
Thank you, Tony.
Peace.
Awesome. Can we do some pictures?
ESQ, guys. With the belt? Sure. You know, yeah. Ooh. Let's go.
Tony, this side.
That's good.